Let us now talk of access control and time attendance systems. So now the first most important question when you are asking the customer about his requirement for access control is what is the purpose of access control? Access control can be used for two purposes. Can be used for two purposes. One is to get attendance, to mark attendance. The other purpose is for security or locking. Okay, you can lock the premises using access control. Then the other purpose is that you can provide selective access, that some rooms or some areas can be accessed by certain persons and not by others and at different times. So you may want to lock the things at night and open them during the daytimes. And you can also get the records of who came into certain areas and at what time. And other purpose is also visitor control to check that visitors can only get access to certain areas in the premises. Okay. Then the other question to ask is that do you want only access control, that is only to lock and unlock the doors or areas, or you also want to use it for time and attendance? Okay, so the solution can be designed accordingly. Now, specifically, these are the questions that you have to ask for access control. For access control, you need to understand that what type of door or a barrier is there, whether it is glass, wood, whether the door is single or it is a double door, that we call it a double leaf door, so that we can determine what type of lock we will need to put on that door. The other thing to ask is what is the number of users for which this system is being used. Then another very important consideration is that what type of access control will be the most suitable for the customer. In case of small offices or MNC type of an office, the workers are always given ID cards, okay, with the photograph and the company name. So the same ID cards can be used for access control. So this is known as RFID based access control. On the other hand, if there are larger number of people, like workers are there, or it's a factory, then in that case, issuing the cards may not be a good idea because the workers keep losing the cards. And other thing, they may also have trouble, in uh, issuing the cards. Okay, so that case we can also do fingerprint based. But again, for construction sites and other kind of works where the hands of the labor are damaged, fingerprint may not always read. So there we can give facial recognition or iris-based systems. So you have to understand the application for what is the name, the number of users, what is the nature of the workers or office employees who are going to use the access control system. Okay, then again, you also need to understand whether the access control is only at one location, one gate, or is at multiple location, at in multiple buildings or multiple floors. Okay, and then again, is it to be centralized? The control needs to be centralized. Like you need to register the fingers in one place, and the customers will be or the employees will be moving through the entire building. Okay, another here, the value added question is that we can also integrate the access control system with the fire alarm system or CCTV system. So, in this case of a fire, we can automatically unlock the doors. Similarly, if you integrate the access control with CCTV system, then on the CCTV feed near the door where the access control is installed, we will be able to get the name of the person, the time of opening the door, and the employee number and all imprinted on the video. So that is also possible. Then again, another part of access control is to ask whether the customer would also like to have a physical barrier. For instance, you can have a boom barrier for the cars. And apart from boom barriers, there are other type of barriers like bollards. These are round pillars that come out of the ground. They can be wedge crash barriers. They can be spikes. So to prevent any unauthorized vehicle from entering or leaving the premises. So does the customer have requirement for this type of equipment also? And so they can also be integrated into the existing or the newly designed access control. So by showing the card, you can raise the boom barrier, or by giving your fingerprint, you can raise the boom barrier or open the barrier. Okay. Now you must also ask that how many people, like if you are putting a turnstile for people getting into the premises or a boom barrier, then how many vehicles or people are expected to come into the premises? That is a very important question. Then the next thing about is the part two is the time and attendance. If the company or the user or the customer wants to use the system for time attendance, then you must ask them that what is the current system that they are using. Are they using it manually or they already have some kind of machine in place? Then again, what is the problem that they are facing with the existing system? Sometimes they may tell you a problem that the existing system is not reading the fingerprints, and whatever it is, please note down that carefully. Then again, for time and attendance system, do they have any special reporting requirements? Because many customers like export houses, they may have a requirement with respect to reports that are generated. Okay, they may want the reports to be modified in a certain way. You must ask that. You must also ask them what is the normal working hours, whether they are working in multiple shifts and what are these shifts. That is important for access control. Then the other important thing is that you can ask them about proxy punching. Proxy punching happens when one person uses the card of another and makes the punch for the other person. So in case if this is a prevalent problem, then we can have to go for fingerprint or iris based system. Similarly, for large construction sites like L&T, we have a specialized system for iris based attendance whereby no duplicacy is possible. So you can speak to Michael and get more details regarding this. But for large site and a lot of construction labor, we have a specialized system that we can provide. Let me now also come down to fencing. When you're doing the access control and if there is a high-tech security requirement, then the person may also need some kind of a fencing. So firstly, you need to ask that what is the reason they want to put the fence? Is it only to prevent theft or prevent people from getting into it or going out of the premises? Whether they also want to keep wild animals like monkeys or cows from getting into the boundary? Then you have to ask them what is the area to be covered, what is the length of the boundary. Better get a layout from them, and also typically with the size and everything, so we can find out that what will be the typical cost of such a big installation, big or small. Then what is the type of boundary wall do they have? Whether they have a boundary wall or not, if it is there, whether it is 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. Okay, so this will be help us to understand what kind of fencing can be provided. Also, if there is a fence, is it what kind of fence do they have? Is it equipped with barbed wire or with razor ribbon? And also, does the customer want any kind of alarm to be raised in case of anyone trying to cross the fence or trying to cut the fence? Okay, if any animal or any man or person comes and touches the fence, an alarm can be raised. Similarly, the fence can also be powered. So there can be a voltage around 110 or 90 volts running through the fence, and if any animal or any person touches the fence, they will get a mild current. It will not kill them, but it will prevent them from getting into the premises. Furthermore, the power fence can also be made solar, so you don't have to consume power. Just from solar energy during the daytime, it can be charged and utilized like that. Okay.